This one is going to be a bit different from the others. The main point of going live is to talk about the video. I've seen in the community a lot of people react to it. I've seen a lot of people post questions about it. Highly recommend that everyone goes and checks out the video. That's where you'll get all the answers to the main things that have happened anyway. Let's lay out one thing first, because when I made my 92 Bob video last year, the one thing I got sort of the most flack for, I think, was my intentions with the video were not fully understood. So let me, with this one, just lay out clearly what the intentions behind it were. Reasons, motivations for making the video. Point number one, I think no matter what you think of Riolu or the other cheaters, I think the very idea that you can cheat to your heart's content, make a new account and keep playing is stupid. Confront Nadeo on weak cheating policy. I believe this creates a lot of problems in the community. I think number two, when you find something like this, you could of course decide to just not talk about it, sweep it back under the rug. Ultimately, you kind of have to confront these things, I think. I think it's better. It sucks to be the one to sort of find this, and you should also have the full facts. Inform community about what has been happening. Another point is also closure. Truly. I saw this one video in my recommended not too long ago. This video was just some random commentary channel, not really a Trackmania creator. Is Riolu okay after the cheating controversy? We have had no public word from him after what happened. He just left. The answer is yes, he's absolutely out there. And hopefully doing better now than a couple of years ago. But yeah, these are the main motivations. With that said, let's start with the first couple of questions, chat. Could I see an alternative timeline where Riolu admitted cheating and apologized and rehabilitated it? Absolutely. I think many of the top players would still not like him, but could he come back from it and have a career as a content creator? Without a doubt, because so many people still appreciated the entertainer side of Riolu. One of the greatest qualities you can have is humility, because we're all human, we all make mistakes, and if people do that, it's a lot more understandable, because in the time after, you can see that they've grown as a person. So I think there's absolutely room for second chances and growth. Does he still have a redemption path possible today if he makes the ultimate apology? I think that is not something I am an authority to speak on. It's up to each and every person what they think of this, right? I think even if you can't be forgiven by someone, you should probably still apologize to that person. Like, let's say I visit a family friend's house. I play football. I miss my shot. It goes through the window and destroys an irreplaceable family vase. That family will now hate me forever. I have broken something I cannot repair. I would still apologize to that family, even if I knew they would never forgive me, because it's just the right thing to do. I think this is, regardless, step one. But I also understand, just from a human point of view, it's easier not to confront it. And so if he does that, I respect that decision too. But I think this is the better approach. Are the runs on the alt accounts real runs? I see a lot of people asking this. Are the runs on the alt accounts cheated? Are they real? Yeah, is there anything to say 92 Bob is cheating? Is there anything to say Eddie A has cheated? Answer is they're very likely legit. If they were cheated, we would have pointed out in the video. We've found nothing to say that they are cheated or not. You do, of course, have to treat runs with a grain of doubt when they pertain to a player that has cheated so much in the past. They're on the competitive patch, at least since 2022, March 2022. And to our knowledge, they're legitimate. One thing I see constantly is from people is, if he's not cheating now, what's the big deal? Let him play. What's your stance on this? You know, everyone's opinion on this is going to be different. My opinion personally is if you cheat this much, you also should lose access to competing fairly. Competing fairly, to me, is a privilege that you earn by being a legitimate player. An example is if I play Monopoly with my siblings and my brother always cheats and takes money from the bank, then I'm going to want to play Monopoly with someone else. I'm not going to want to play with him because he doesn't play fair. In a competition, you set the framework. These are the boundaries we compete within. Everyone understands them, and we see who's the best within these boundaries. If you go outside of that and continue to do that, people don't want to play with you. So as a competitor in Trackmania, I wouldn't want to compete with him, even if he plays legitimate, especially before he has shown any remorse or apologized for it. But I also think even if you go beyond all the gameplay stuff, if you just, okay, fine, gameplay doesn't matter. If you look at the other actions that he did, they're also not so defensible. I think part of the competition there is that you don't go on alt accounts and flame other people. that you ask for players like BlackQ to be completely ostracized from the game, while you yourself being someone that has done similar actions to the person you're trying to ostracize. If you just look past the in-game stuff itself, the stuff outside the game is also enough to question whether or not he should play or be a part of the community in the current stand of things. Do you regret making the 92 Bob video? I don't regret making the 92 Bob video, but there's definitely things I would have done differently. I think the video was probably a bit early in terms of the proof we had, but I also think it is a sort of good time capsule to look back at now in a weird way. Most top players, immediately when they saw this account, assumed it was Riolu, because it just felt there couldn't be anyone else that matches the profile, skill, and everything. It's relieving to know I was right on that part, that I didn't wrongly accuse like Race Haunts to be 92 Bob and then had to correct myself on that. But as I said earlier, I of course wish I made it more clear my stance on doxing and IP grabbing. I actually had it in my original script that I do not condone these actions. I actually thought it was so obvious that I didn't put it in there. So I cut it from the voice lines. Video could absolutely have been made better, and I would have made it differently now, but I also don't think there's anything wrong with keeping it up and saying that. Was Riolu your friend? Feels a little bit like a personal attack on him because he betrayed you. I would say yes, Riolu was my friend, but it's been so long ago now that it doesn't really feel so close anymore. So this video was not made to get revenge or anything like that. It's not made to be petty, like I said. These are the reasons. Is all the data you used public? To me, it seems a bit obsessive stalking like when messaging his childhood friend. Shouldn't this be Nadeo's responsibility and not yours, regardless of how important of a figure you are? This is a great question. And I honestly want questions like this from sort of people that challenge the video. I think that's healthy to get both sides. So if you have similar opinions, feel free to share them. The answer is, for the most part, yes. There is information that is not public, as in this is information that, for example, email addresses. The email addresses of players on Trackmania Exchange are not public. This is something that only moderators have access to. But of course, moderators use their mod powers in situations where it's useful or necessary to solving a case. When it comes to messaging his childhood friend, this was more that I wanted the real Eddie to know. Like, imagine you are being impersonated by someone and you have no idea. They deserve to know. And you can say, okay, Nadeo, look, here's the case. Also, I found the real Eddie's profile. Please send him a message. Look, Nadeo is never gonna do this. Nadeo is absolutely never gonna do this. So I sent him a message. Yeah, he was actually quite happy about being told. He said he didn't like that his name was being used on the YouTube account, but he also was quite happy about seeing his old tracks that he built. He was happy about seeing his ghosts and that he remembered driving the runs, and he said it brought back like so many good memories for him. So I think he had a positive experience about it, but it's crazy, right? Imagine like a game you played 15 years ago. For me, that's Minecraft. And someone goes, yo, was it you that built this house on this Minecraft server 15 years ago? Just some random story, and some reporter is like reaching you about it. It's like, what? Like, if you're just living an ordinary life beyond your gaming career, it's just crazy to be messaged about something like that. Buckley's pants with a Buckley, this is the most serious question I've ever seen you write. Virtual, you claim that Riolu doxed Misa by using his real name, but by publishing that information to millions of people, aren't you also doxing him? The answer is unfortunately yes. And in a way, the same thing can be said about Eddie, that by declaring that Riolu used a real identity, I am also publishing that to even more people. But in the video, and that's also why we anonymized as much as we could, there's a part in the video where you see the social media pages of Eddie and Gabriel, and I can tell you that those profile pictures and descriptions and everything is all fabricated. That's not what the actual profiles look like, for example. But I also talked with Miso about this. Would you be comfortable with me sharing this as part of the video? And Miso said yes, so I also had his approval to put this story in the video. The fact that Nadeo protected 92 Bob still baffles me. You could say that, but my own understanding of Nadeo after being a player of this game for 10 years is that unless something needs to be done, Nadeo will push it away. Nadeo operates on a very, this needs to be handled or it doesn't. If it's not in the right now need pile, then they put it away. I hope this video makes the cheat policy end up in the need pile. But we're also talking about an old game, so maybe they don't prioritize it. Would Riolu have any income from this, or was it just for fame for anonymous accounts? I mean, we can talk a little bit about this, not necessarily the money part. The answer is no, there's no money in this. People might wonder, okay, if 92Bob is a perfectly anonymous account, why switch? From what I've seen and scrolling through endless conversations in United Discords, Trackmania United Discords, players in United don't respect 92Bob at all. So the real world record on maps where 92Bob also competes, even if Bob has the best time, the world record that players treat as the world record is another player. Because Bob is not a member in the community, Bob doesn't upload his records to Trackmania Exchange, which sort of officializes it. Sort of like having a world record, but it's on Guinness, you know, you have the Guinness certificate. It's official if it's on TMX. I think he made the Eddie account and started playing on it because he wanted more people to see and respect his records. But this is speculation on my part, not a statement necessarily. I understand why Arcus wanted voice confirmation, but even if it hadn't been Riolu, saying no to that should be respected, no. Trackmania would be a far less popular game, as I said, if you had to do like a blood test or prove your identity in some way, DNA, driver's license, whatever, to compete. Like, yes, you should be perfectly within your rights to play anonymously, but people also have a right to question it on the same grounds. That it is a bit weird that you've never spoken on voice chats. It is a bit weird that all these things don't line up. And yeah, this is like a big conundrum. This is a big dilemma. And I don't think there's any perfect answer to this. I think Arcus as a mod did the best he could. Luckily, there was other proof than the voice confirmation. Why are you scared of a lawsuit when the evidence is so strong? Just because it's a waste of time. There's a guy who is suing Carl Jobst. It's wasted about 4 years of his time, and I don't want to go through with that. Could you quickly summarize what was wrong about the 92Bob video? Yes. At least the lessons I learned from it. Lesson number 1 from this video was that you should never assume that people fully know your intentions or opinions. You have to be very clear in the video. It's like, I can think that I'm a reasonable person and I don't think doxing is a good thing. But if I don't make that clear in the video, then people can think that, oh, I think Black Q is a hero for trying to get Bob's IP and therefore find out what he did. And it's a bit weird because it almost feels unnecessary. Like if I watch a documentary about someone who robbed a bank, if the author of this story calls the bank robber like clever or sneaky or a genius, we're also not endorsing bank robbing. Like, I thought when I made this video that I can call his method, although morally deplorable, that I could call it sneaky and clever, which I thought it was. Like, this might actually fool someone. But by not stating my own opinion on it, people thought I was in favor of doxing, and that was bad. Second thing is that there was too much speculation and not enough evidence. If it were that this perhaps could be Riolu, it would paint a haunting picture. People want facts. People want to see facts and know that things are true. They don't want to watch a video where someone just speculates about the what ifs. So that's what we got better this time around. And to follow up, someone asked, why didn't I delete the video then? I think it's a great time capsule. And I also think it's fine to have your mistakes publicized, as long as you learn from them. I think this is in fact very much so a bit of a mirror. I made a mistake with this video, and then I fixed it in the next one. Like, I can't live my entire life without making mistakes. That's 2 things I got wrong about this one, but now we're doing better. Are you happy about the way the Trackmania community received the video? Ultimately, yes. I was not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, guys. I was very stressed yesterday. I reviewed the video several times before and I thought, man, like, am I 92bobbing myself again? Is there something I've overlooked? Is there something I didn't disclaim? Is there some part of this that I didn't make clear enough that won't land with people? Like, and I also quickly realized, like, the gut reaction from people when they heard it would be a Riolu video. Like, the news spreads like this, right? One person clicks on it. Oh my god, it's Wirtual. New video, main channel. Click. Oh, he's talking about Riolu. Oh my god, 1 hour runtime? Oh, he's obsessed. Oh, he can't let it go. Oh, it's rent-free in his head. He's obsessed. Quickly, all the streamers. Guys, Virtual's obsessed with this guy. Blah, 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 blah. You know, chatting. And that would just be how the news spreads, like, on the first instant. But I'm very glad from what I saw that people actually took the time to watch it all the way through, and then I actually got to see their understanding of why the video had to be made change in real time. Virtual, from your entire video, the only striking thing that Riolu seems to have done in the last couple of years has been the docs. Why should we care that he is playing on alt accounts? yeah, many things in this. First of all, to you, it's only the docs. And I think this is understandable from an outside point of view. To people who've been playing and competing in Trackmania for a long time, it is cowardly in a way to mistreat the community, to give yourself advantages that other players haven't. Other players compete with the expectation that you as their opponent will compete fairly. And then when called out on that, just vanish and play on an anonymous account. Many players feel a lack of closure from him not taking accountability. Just the fact that he's playing on an alt account, to many, is seen as a bad thing. There's the fact that he harasses a lot of other players like Nico, who was challenging Bob's rank 1 at the time, or Kimura, that made Bob lose a lot of points on Island with all these like bug slides. He was harassing these players on anonymous accounts on YouTube, and just in general, creating a lot of chaos in the community. So basically, just that his presence in the community in the last 4 years anonymously hasn't just been playing, but it has been a detriment to those in United. Also flooding leaderboards, right? Imagine you're like really happy with your time and then you see 6 random accounts you've never heard of ahead of you, and those all being from Riolu. Pretty disingenuous to take advantage of a flaw in the official replays. This is something you sort of sign up to when you download the competitive patch. This is sort of a requirement to compete with your records having the official competitive patch signature in them. Like if you want that stamp of approval, you download the patch, it will store your controller data. So this is already known. We just didn't know that they were on the servers. I don't think it's bad that it was there. I think it was honestly very good because it leaves no room for doubt. Did not understand why all the accounts were linked. Why did he not just buy the game on a completely new account if he wanted to hide them? Answer is he could, and he could also be more careful with the Mania Zone sign-ins. But if it's not something you're aware of, I don't think it's something you think too closely about. I think in his mind and in everyone else's mind before we discovered the Mania Zones thing, these accounts were not connected. And also it's just an accessibility thing. You have your friend's old accounts, so why do you bother? Do you think it's worth continuing to bring up Riolu when more than 99% of the community only ever hears about this guy when you make a video? I think from this point onwards, it does need to be brought up. This is a very fair concern, and that's never really been my intention either. Like in the past 4 years, I have made 2 videos on the guy. The 92 Bob video and this one. And of course the initial cheating scandal video, but that one I think you don't really count. So yeah, 2 videos. I try my best not to just, man, rent is due. Let me upload a drama video milking Riolu's cheating again. That's not the underlying motivation for any of this. But yeah, if there's no like further development, if there's no next thing, then I'm not gonna just go out of my way to make a Riolu video. I'd much rather make other stories. Why focus so much on Riolu not apologizing? Would you even accept one at this point? So it doesn't really come down to accepting the apology or not. I just think it's the right thing to do, and I think it's fair to ask for. And I think also it will let him move on from it as well. If Riolu wanted to, would you have a chat with him, recorded or not? Yes, I think so. I don't see him as a persona non grata. And in fact, in 2021, when I first suspected the Bob account and the Nadeo employee told me that they 98% knew who it was, I asked the Nadeo employee if they could have that person contact me. I'd love to talk with them, even if it was like anonymously or through the like, you know, anonymous communication. I thought this question was interesting. Did you seek any legal guidance before posting? This is really just to give a shout out. It just so happens that Lufok was part of the investigation, and Lufok's brother studies law and has studied law for many years. So shout out to Lufok's brother for reviewing the script and making sure that I did not open myself up to defamation. Yeah, Lufok's brother is big into Trackmania as well, and studies law, so it was perfect. This is fair as well. Did you monetize the video? And if so, do you think it's fair to do so on a topic like this? So yes, it is monetized, and I think it's fair to do so. For one, all the work put into it, but also, as I said, for the bounty. I'm going to use parts of what it makes to clean up one leaderboard. To me, it's a story as any other, although it touches on some sensitive topics, but it's not only made with the goal of profiting off of Riolu's downfall. There was one comment which was something like, damn, spam is making another quick buck profiting off of Riolu's downfall, which is arguably more questionable than Riolu's cheating itself. Yeah, and it's like, no? So yeah, I think it's fair to monetize it. Were you aware that it was Riolu commenting on alts when your recent TMUF records were uploaded to the TMUF record YouTube account? Yes. And I hate to say it, but it was also kind of a test. So I hunted Rally A3 mostly for fun. But then after I tied Bob's record here, he had a 96, I tied it. He drove a 95, and then I drove a 92. I hunted, I got a really sick run, 0.92, and I left this comment. This is maxed. Sorry, Bob. This was straight up. This was. I just wanted to see. Are we gonna get Slobodan? Are we gonna get Swag? Are we gonna get anyone in the replies? And then, hello. I just wanted to see. Are they still around? And the answer is yes. Were you scared of possible downfalls of this video? I had a conversation with Kem once, and this was before the cheating scandal was published, where Kem asked me, okay, Virtual, you're like, sure, but are you sure enough to the point that if it turns out that you're completely wrong, are you willing to sack your entire career you're building to publish this information? Even on that, you're 99.99% sure. Maybe you've gotten something wrong in the cheating investigation and you're publishing something completely wrong. You get sued, you lose your channel, the community doesn't believe you, like you're like, how sure are you about that you want to do this? And I said, even if that's the case, I want to do it. And I felt the same way with this. I'm a little scared of it, but confident enough that I'm willing to put it out there. It becomes so dumb, right? If you live in fear of the retaliation, that you're scared of publishing useful information. And there are real world examples of this, right? Like if you're a whistleblower and it's on too large a scale, there are people out there, you know, that don't like that. Luckily, we're in a game and the stakes are not as high, but they're high on a personal level. But I still think the people that do that are very respectable. Just about to testify in court against Boeing as a whistleblower, and oops, had an accident. If you believe in something, I think you should stand for it. But it also depends how much it matters to you. But if you really believe in it, you should stand for it. Closing remarks. Overall, I hope we can close this chapter in the Trackmania story. It is a wild chapter, but I hope that this is something we talk about for a bit now. See where the chips land and what the outcome of all of it is. There are things we can hope happens, but we'll see in due time what actually ends up being the fallout of all this. And I hope that in the future we have less Smurf accounts, less anonymous accounts flooding the leaderboards, less cheaters, stronger punishment for cheaters, that we have less anonymous hate accounts, and that if we see anonymous hate accounts, we don't take them seriously, because if you're not willing to stand for what you say with your face and with your name, and at least with your identity in that community, then that opinion can really be void. It can be anything. Anyone can say anything on an anonymous account and feel powerful doing so. But it's typically hurt people that hurt people, and they do so because of their own situation. They want others to feel what they feel. So you shouldn't take so much stock in it.